Good afternoon. Now is our last video for the day, and what I want to do is take this time to talk a little bit about something that's possibly very sensitive for most people, but not sensitive for me because it's a reality, and that's racism. Now, I'm not going to spend 2 hours talking to you about racism from the perspective of what we are seeing with, death of black people and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to be talking to you about in this next few minutes. What I am going to talk about is it related to how do you, or what name do you actually answer to. And when I say that, it creates this opportunity for us to figure out what name do we really respond or react to. And when I look at my own situation as an example, even to this day, I still have people calling me a nigger out loud in public. I still have people calling me nigger when I'm in the store. And I still have people calling me nigger and, at a restaurant. But the truth is, it's done in an indirect way. It's very subtle and very quiet. And when you get good at reading people and understanding people, you'll get a chance to pick those things up. Those cues are so loud that you can't miss it. But the truth is that I have to smile about it for a little bit because I don't believe in that school of thought of saying, oh, this is 2015, racism no longer exists. I think that's all a piece of shit. That's a waste of just breath to even say. Because if you look at the way how life works, it's very simple. When you have things that have been done in the past that aren't really addressed properly in the past, it is then transcended to generations to come, or even communities to come. And when something like racism continues to grow, it's growing because it's being passed down. And when it's being passed down, even though it's a different era and time, we also have technology, social media, and other avenues of information that helps people to make it easier to leverage racism to then keep it going. And it can be done in subtle ways. So, you see a black man being going to jail, and you see it as a common thing, and you start to build perceptions and stereotypes about that. You see a black person being killed or a black man being killed, it stirs up perceptions. It's all present. Even though I'm relating this only to, quote unquote, in this little short discussion of a black man or a black male, it's happening in different cultures in different ways, and I want to acknowledge that as well. But I'm only using what I know as an example. And the truth is that when I look at my own life, the racism will always be around regardless of what happens in my life. And I have to learn how to respond to my God-given name, which is Mark Dunn, and choose not to react to the name of nigger, whatever they want to call me, rapper, thug, whatever they want to come up with. I don't know. Because there's so many names, and they've changed, and they're changing every probably 4 to 6 months. But I choose to respond versus react. And I don't have a problem with that. And I think if we all learn strategically how to deal with that in a way that is not based on emotion, but based on being rational, we can reduce some of the challenges we see with racism, but we might not kill racism. It will always be alive and well in people because it is taught. It is taught. Yes, it can be unlearned, but it takes a significant group of people to make that happen. So what I propose is this. Let's start looking at it from the lens of what I can do, meaning as an individual, to ensure that my values, my principles related to people and human beings are taught in an appropriate way to ensure that if I have children down the road, they can understand that. They'll understand that people may be of different race, colors, genders, etc., but they're still human beings. If you cut their hand and I cut your hand, we still bleed, red blood. There's no difference. So let's not become people who allow the perception on the outside to define a person. Let's get to know them from the inside with seeing them as a human being first and allowing the beauty of who they really are to come out as time continues. So let's take our time with this. Let's understand that racism is something that will never die, but it can always be reduced. And it takes an individual to do it one step at a time. Let's work with each other on this. Have a great afternoon and a great evening or great morning wherever you are in the world.